Hello, everyone. Welcome to Named Intentions. I'm very happy to have you here today. Um, if you're in the Southeast or in America, you were just crushed with snow. It snowed here in my city, but we're doing great. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. Um, and I apologize for my last several streams. I noticed that whenever I would share screen to X, that all you were seeing was a black screen. I also noticed that my Jeff Bezos um, last letter video cut off like 8 minutes early, so I don't even know who I was talking to most of that time. Um, However, I wanted to share something with you today that can unlock your mental cognitive ability. And let's see if this will work. All right, it says this is working, so that's good. All right, so I came across this tweet by Dan Coe, post on X. It's interesting. The brain at rest. So an EEG, essentially is when you put these electrodes on your brain, and it can measure the individual activity of certain parts of the brain uh, while it's running. It's most commonly used to diagnose epilepsy and seizure disorders, but it can also just generally assess your cognition and different abilities. So um, this is what it looks like 20 minutes after sitting, where blue is essentially it's not super activated, and then after a walk, they even insinuate here that they did a 20 minutes of walking, heightened attention, and faster information processing. I thought that was pretty interesting. Um, he does the source here of University of Illinois in Urbana, Champaign. So that's interesting. I wanted to look at that more. So I found this article in the Daily Mail. It is from April of 2024 here. Scientists reveal how long you should walk to boost brain power. Their highlights at the top. It only takes 20 minutes to boost your brain activity and can help improve problem solving, creativity. And Peter Hess did an expose on this article. Yeah, they have a nice colored picture here. And they actually go on to say that it was part of a study done by Chuck Hillman. So, I mean, I think that, in today's day and age, I think we as a society can do better about making our own decisions. So, this is one journalist's interpretation of the study here. And I can come back to this, but I just looked up the article myself. I guess it's one of the benefits of having access to medical literature here. So this is the article they're talking about. So we can verify that here's the author here, Charles Hillman. This was published in Neuroscience in early February 2009. Neuroscience is a pretty good journal. Let's see here. Hopefully you guys are seeing my screen. It looks like you're seeing my screen, but you never can really know. All right, so it has an impact factor. Looks like 4.4 as of 2023. So that's pretty good. I assumed it was pretty good, but it's always good to review that. some other authors are noted in the article here. Here's their abstract. Why don't we get up the PDF? Sometimes it's easier to read. Here we are. All right. If anyone in the chat can tell me, no one is even on, but that's okay. Hopefully you watch this as a replay. I will try to keep the chat feature viewable for myself. Okay. The abstract goes on to say an acute bout. That's an interesting word to put in science literature. Abstract of moderate treadmill walking on behavioral and neural electric indices of cognitive control of attention and applied aspects of cognition involved in school-based academic performances were assessed. 20 pre-adolescent participants. Okay, so the study was done on 10-year-olds. That's okay. So who knows how methods here? I always start with the methods here because if you don't apply to the population, I haven't read this article yet, by the way. I am doing it in real time. I just pulled them up and thought I'd review them with you all. Okay, so I always start reviewing medical literature by going to the methods section. Okay, there's a lot of words here, so let's just go to table 1. They published this at the end. Where's table 1? Here it is. All right, so males and females aged around 10, prepubescent, that's their Tanner scale. So 5 is full adulthood after puberty. 1 is your school age, so they're about to embark on puberty here. Average BMI. It's interesting that they have a lot of their vital signs here. Okay, I would love to know, what does ADHD mean? I'm gonna have to go back and read that. Okay. Sorry. Oh wow, that's a big. All right. Back to the abstract here. Let's see if we can just skim this. Prior to testing, it was reported that the children were free of neurologic disease and attention. Okay, so they were just making sure that they didn't have ADHD. All the participants. I wonder how many students they had do this. 20. So this is a very small study. Okay. All right. The EEGs on the kids. This is pretty sciencey. They also looks like they measured the VO2 max to determine, I guess, if they had any sort of effects from walking on the treadmill. Okay. They did this on 2 different days. Both visits occurred at the same time of day, controlled. First day was paperwork. They had a heart rate monitor. They did their resting heart rate. It looks like they did the aerobic exercise activity on the second day, which they consider as walking. The other half did the aerobic exercise on the first day. The session consisted of 20 minutes of seated rest. And had the EEG caps on. Looks like they were about 24 minutes long. They administered a test afterwards. Okay, this is all very interesting. Hopefully you're reading along with me. Great. Okay. Yeah, statistical analysis. I mean, science community, and you want to read this, or even if you're not and you want to learn more, feel free to take a look at this. Let's just go to what they found. Okay. So it looks like the black is uh, them after they're doing the exercise activity of walking on the treadmill 20 minutes, and the white is um, so they had a higher standardized score on reading comprehension, spelling, and arithmetic. Um, However, just glancing at this, it looks like perhaps spelling and arithmetic may not be statistically significant, whereas reading comprehension is. Okay, and let's make sure. So this is reaction time. So average reaction time and response accuracy for congruent and incongruent trials as a function of acute exercise is the black bar, white is resting. So this is response accuracy. So they had a higher response accuracy um, with congruent exercises, and you can look up and see what that they determine as that in the literature. But it looks like there's more statistical significance in incongruent exercises. Let me just make sure everything is going here. No chats. Perfect. No one is there, and that's okay. You'll watch this later. I know you will. So these are the individual EEG leads. And this is a black and white version of that picture that we saw in the Daily Mail. Cool. Okay, so what is their main conclusion here? These basic science people sometimes. Okay. Revealed that a single bout of moderate intense aerobic exercise facilitated children's cognitive performance and influenced ERP components elicited in a task requiring cognitive control. All right, good. That's great. Specifically, following acute exercise, they had increased response accuracy in the P3 amplitude during incongruent trials, fitted performance on academic achievement tests of reading. Accordingly, the data indicate that acute exercise might serve as a cost-effective means for improving specific aspects of academic achievement and enhancing cognitive control during pre-adolescent. I mean, this is interesting. I'm a relatively new father, and my son, he's 2, does significantly better in not being aggressive if we take him outside and have him run around for a while. This is a long article. I'll let you guys read it on your own time. All right, let's go back to this Daily Mail article, because whenever I first found that Dan Code post on X, I thought this was going to be in adults, but it's not. Okay. They do talk about there's this other study in 2000. This was done in 2009. Oh, it was in 2009. Yeah, 2009. And they say participants. I mean, this was in children. I don't know if we're going to publish this in the Daily Mail, but whatever. This is the literature that we have. They did comment on a different study at Stanford University's that volunteers perform better on tests on creative thinking if they did it while walking rather than sitting. Another article in 2023 found that taking a brisk walk for just 11 minutes a day can slash your chances of dying early by almost a quarter. So that's a 25% reduction. That's pretty good. Analysis of involving more than 30 million people found that 75 minutes per week of moderate intensity activities such as cycling, hiking, and risk of early death by 23%. And then if you're diabetic or risk of type 2 diabetes, going for a short walk. I mean, I don't think that's a surprise that walking can boost brain power. Maybe I'll put something on the response here. It almost goes to say that, if you can start your day with a brisk walk and then get to deep work, it might enhance your productivity and help you stay focused. Yeah. I mean, you can see I have a treadmill right here. I do walk for 20 minutes and then lift, and then you see on my video on the on my morning routine from last week. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense that exercise can improve um, your ability to uh, enhance your cognitive ability. So that is not a surprise to me at all. All right, I think my stream is starting to lag a little bit. So maybe I should get going here. And it looks as if you were able to see everything I was talking about during this stream. Yeah. All right. So that's it for today. I do again apologize about my prior videos and how you weren't able to see my shared screen. Hopefully you're able to see it this time. I guess we'll find out whenever I go back to watch it later. Thanks for coming, and I hope this was beneficial to you. So maybe start your day with a quick walk before you start your deep work. I think that would be my takeaway. Note that that study was done in children, and it'd be nice to see that replicated in adults. Uh, I'm sure there'd be plenty of people lining up to do it. So see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you later.